Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is May 8th, 2024, and Barcelona will play in two stadiums next season. Also, the club have identified the two replacements for Robert Lewandowski. And finally, I'm going to tell you about that special clause in Xavi Simons' contract that could allow him to arrive in Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. I do apologize for not doing the live podcast earlier today. I had a fever all day. I've been feeling pretty sick. I am feeling a little bit better right now. So this is why I decided to take advantage of my improved health in order to bring you the news. Now, having said all of that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Now, let's begin with the news because UEFA have informed Barcelona that they will be playing in two stadiums next season. Yes, you heard that right now. As you know, the Spotify Camp Nou is currently undergoing major renovations as part of the Espai Barca project. Barcelona are set to go back to the Spotify Camp Nou around November, December of this year. So towards the end of this year, for that 125th anniversary, that's what Barcelona have plans. But however, UEFA have told the club that under the UEFA rules, you cannot switch stadiums until after the group stages. So Barcelona will not be able to play Champions League matches at the renovated Spotify Camp Nou until the knockout stages. So if they make it to the round of 16, that means February, March. However, there are going to be already playing La Liga matches at the new Spotify Camp Nou around November, December, but the remainder of the group stages of the Champions League, they're going to be played in Montjuic. So Barcelona are going to have to be going from stadium to stadium, playing La Liga matches in Spotify Camp Nou, playing Champions League matches in Montjuic until the knockout stages, and then they will be able to play all of their matches at the Spotify Camp Nou. Now, this is very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how Barcelona juggle this, because that means they're going to have to pay rent for the Montjuic stadium. Of course, they had only planned to stay there until November, December, but now it looks like they're going to have to pay rent for extra months. Plus, they're going to have to keep, the stadium looking like a Barcelona stadium. They added all those flags and banners, and they covered some of the seats where the visibility was not too clear. So we're going to have to wait and see how Barcelona will juggle two stadiums in the upcoming season. I got to tell you, UEFA and their strange rules. But anyways, let's talk about more news because it's reported that Barcelona have identified the two replacements for Robert Lewandowski. Now, as you know, Robert Lewandowski has an ascending contract, which means his salary gets higher and higher with every season. His first season, he earned 10 million euros net. This season, he's going to earn 13 million euros net. And next season is going to be 16 million euros net. That's, of course, net. That's what he gets, which means that Barcelona would pay 32 million, the double, because half does go to taxes. And as a result of this increased salary, Barcelona, are wary about Lewandowski continuing at the club because they cannot afford his salary. Without that salary, they could do a lot more, but they're kind of tied down. So Barcelona would hope that Lewandowski could change his mind and leave the club. Of course, Lewandowski wants to stay in Barcelona. He's made it very clear that he wants to end his contract. His 2 years that he has left on his contract with Barcelona. Barcelona are not going to force an exit. They're not going to try to push him out. However, they would like him to consider leaving because, again, his salary will be incredibly high next season, and Barcelona will have a hard time affording it. Now, in case Lewandowski, by some miracle of God, decides that he does want to leave, then the club have identified the two possible replacements that can take his place. The first one being Darwin Nunez. Excuse me. Now, there's been some rumors swirling that Darwin Nunez had been linked with Barcelona. I told you that it didn't seem that there's much truth to it, but now TV3, it's a local channel in Catalonia, have reported that Barcelona are indeed considering Darwin Nunez as a possible replacement for Lewandowski, and TV3, they're a pretty reliable source as far as internal news from the club. Now, again, this is only happen if Lewandowski decides to leave, because if he does leave, he would take with him his huge salary, the 32 million euros gross, which would leave a huge opening in the wage bill, which Barcelona would kind of take advantage to try to sign the Uruguayan attacker. Now, Barcelona had been linked with Darwin Nunez in the past. In fact, Luis Suarez recommended that Barcelona sign Darwin Nunez as his replacement. Barcelona had the chance to sign him for around 15 million euros, but of course this was under the Bartomeu reign, and he decided to pass on, like he decided to pass on many other players. And then when Joan Laporta became president, he held meetings with Jorge Mendes, who is Darwin Nunez's agent, in order to try to his signing. But at the time, his price had gone up. Barcelona could not afford any signings, and that's how he ended up at Liverpool. Now, I don't see this operation happening, not only because Lewandowski would have to leave in order for Darwin Nunez to come, but again, Liverpool paid a lot of money for him. His market value is around 70, 80 million euros. So Liverpool, that's reported, is most likely going to want around 100 million, which of course, Barcelona, that kind of makes it prohibitive for Barcelona. Even if they do reach the 1-to-1 rule, to spend 100 million euros on a player is going to be kind of out of range. Plus, not to mention, Darwin Nunez does play in the Premier League, where they have incredibly high salaries. He's going to want to earn something similar, and I don't know if Barcelona would be able to afford that. Now, the second option that TV3 has revealed that Barcelona are considering would be Alexander Isak. This would be in case Barcelona cannot sign Darwin Nunez, which Barcelona are very much aware that it would be a difficult, signing, because he is the star of Liverpool. Liverpool paid a lot of money for him. They're not going to want to let him go for cheap. So if Barcelona cannot sign Darwin Nunez, they would consider signing Alexander Isak, who has a pretty similar profile to Darwin Nunez. They're both pretty mobile center forwards. They have a lot of pace. They're very quick. So Barcelona would consider Alexander Isak. Of course, he currently plays at Newcastle, and Newcastle do have to sell players in the summer because they do have a financial fair play problem. So Barcelona would look to kind of take advantage of that situation, but it's reported that Newcastle most likely would also want around 70, 80 million euros for the player, which again, in my opinion, I think that kind of makes it prohibitive. But either way, I think the whole situation would be pretty silly and would be just further proof that Barcelona are just completely mishandling the situation, because why did you spend 30 million euros fixed on Vitor Roque plus 30 million euros in variables? Bring him early on so he can be Lewandowski's substitute and eventually take over Lewandowski, only to turn around and spend another 90, 100 million for Darwin, or 80, 70 million for Isak. It just makes absolutely no sense. I think at this point, Laporta, Barcelona, I don't know who, they're just throwing, and excuse my language, shit at the wall and just hoping something sticks. Anyways, the last bit of news is about Xavi Simons and the special clause in his contract that could allow him to arrive in Barcelona. Now, I've talked to you about Xavi Simons several times this past week. Xavi Hernandez would like to have Xavi Simons on his team. He's a big fan of the player. The player would love to come back to Barcelona. In fact, he's been wanting to come back to Barcelona ever since he left to PSG. Right now, he does have a contract with PSG. He's currently on loan with Leipzig. He will be coming back on loan this summer. And Luis Enrique would like to test him out during the preseason to see if he wants to count on him. But if Luis Enrique decides he doesn't want to count on Xavi Simons, PSG will be sending him out on loan again. And this is where it gets interesting, because it seems that Xavi Simons does have a clause in his contract that allows him to choose which club to go to if he is sent out on loan. So if Luis Enrique decides he doesn't want to use Xavi Simons and PSG want to send him out on loan, under the contract, Xavi Simons will be able to choose whatever club he wants to go to on loan. And since Xavi Simons is dying to come back to Barcelona, and Barcelona would like to have him, then most likely this operation would happen. But again, this all will depend on the preseason and whether Luis Enrique will want to count on him next season or not. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I'm going to go live in a little bit for my second video. Lots of news in that one too. I'm still not feeling too great. This is why I'm doing these videos live, because I did not have the energy to film, edit, post, etc. But hopefully it was enough to keep you up to date. I will see you in the next video in a few minutes. And as always, peace, Barca.